Hello, YouTubers. This is Alex again with Waves of Humanity. Another episode here this week. I'm going to be talking about something that's really important to all of us. Not just myself as a creator, a new creator here with the YouTube community, but basically everybody. Whether you just watch YouTube on a regular, or you actually create content, or you've been creating content for a long period of time, the new YouTube rules or the new enforcement of the rules is really going to be something that's going to completely change this platform altogether. For all of us now, we're used to a select type of content that we're able to watch. We're able to, pull up and watch whenever we want to. Very minimal restrictions. Yes, there's some advertisement you got to watch. If you want to buy YouTube Red, you can eliminate that now. But overall, you can watch pretty much whatever you want. And that's very different than what you've been used to forever now with TV. And this particular platform is very meaningful to a lot of people. It actually provides money for people that do this on a regular basis and actually do this instead of a job. Now, I myself am doing this just as a hobby. I did not really do this with the intention of making money. It would be nice later down the line if I got popular that, this brought some money down the line. But that's not the real focus for me. It's more of a hobby. It's more of an art thing. It's more of a way to express, my opinions that, I go ahead and I express on YouTube, on Facebook and other platforms, and now I get to express it on YouTube. So basically what I'm trying to say is that this is a very important platform for many people. This is a very artistic platform. This is a very meaningful platform. This is a very passionate platform for a lot of people. For many of us, whether we're not good looking enough, whether we're not tall enough, whether we're not talented enough, we're not going to be a movie star. We may not even be a music star. We may not be a singer. We may not be anything of that sort. But we get our opportunity to express ourselves through YouTube. And for those who are talented enough to make money off of it, that opportunity is now gone. These new rules or the enforcement of these new rules is going to change everything. It's going to ruin the culture, basically. YouTube has put itself in a position where it's now going to affect the people who have made YouTube what it is. This enforcement of rules of excessive strong profanity or language, graphic content, all of these rules just really don't make sense when you look at the last 10, 11 years of YouTube. You've always been able to pull up a channel that had strong adult language, that had graphic content, and just like any other medium, it's your decision to switch the channel. You don't have to watch it. And what I never understood about people is when they watch things that they don't like, they continually watch it, and all they want to do is complain about it. They could just simply change the channel. I don't go watching reality TV show that I don't like. I don't go watching the Kardashians. I don't go watching whatever crappy shows on there, Honey Boo Boo or this and that. I just don't watch it. I don't listen to particular music because I don't like that particular music. I don't listen to music and then say, why are they playing that music because it doesn't agree with me. I don't do that. And you should not do that the same way with YouTube. And when you're watching something on YouTube, you have every opportunity to filter, you have every opportunity to create a playlist, you have every opportunity to either put a dislike or a like to the channel. And unlike other mediums, you can comment, you can communicate with other people within the community. This is a very unique platform that YouTube has created within the internet. And for forever now, 11 years now since YouTube has started, this has been a platform that you can watch things that you normally wouldn't watch on ABC or CBS or Fox. And even when you're watching those particular, shows on Fox, even if they agree with you, whether it be FX or HBO, if you're willing to watch the adult content, there comes a cost to that. It could either be that you have to pay for it through your provider, you have to pay a particular amount of money to get that particular kind of content that you want. And that content may not necessarily be exactly what you want. You're still at the mercy of people who are editors and writers and who still have a little bit of a political correct platform that they have to work with. A lot of the people on YouTube aren't necessarily politically correct. I myself am not necessarily politically correct, and I like that. I don't want people to be politically correct. I don't want people to be politically correct. I just don't. I mean, I value the platform that is not necessarily politically correct, and that's still something that's very important to a lot of people because we don't like the cookie cutter type of material that's been pushed out there on news, all sorts of channels on TV that cater to a particular mindset. We don't like that. I don't like that bias. And that's something that's very unique to YouTube. You can watch whatever you want and you don't have to worry about that cookie cutter style of editing or writing. But now with these new rules by YouTube, it's going to ruin this community, this culture that has been created by YouTube themselves. YouTube has allowed themselves to create a culture over 11 years, and now basically it's going to impose the idea that if you have any kind of excessive strong language, graphic content, you're not going to make money. Now, that's not necessarily censorship. We get that. It's not necessarily that they're actually censoring the material, but they are going to prevent content creators from making any money from that particular content. This will persuade people to have to make content that is more PC, that's more politically correct, that is, less adult-like. And in the end, this affects you. This affects you and I, people who watch, videos on YouTube that like this particular kind of content. We love this kind of content. And for the longest time now, this has been the platform that you can find this kind of content basically with almost little to no constraints. And it's very unfortunate because, you want to go out there and become somebody, that creates a channel for yourself. Like I'm creating this channel now. Other people that want to jump on this platform, they now have to put a duct tape over their mouth. And this will affect long-standing creators who have made, themselves very popular by having very adult content. This will prevent you as a consumer from getting the material that you want, which makes absolutely no sense because the advertisers are saying they don't want to advertise for that particular content, but that's the very content that we want to watch. We want to pay for that. If we could be guaranteed that that content would be there forever, we'd be willing to pay for it. In fact, some people do pay for it by paying for YouTube Red. They are willing to pay for ad-less content. I'm willing to pay for YouTube Red because I don't want to watch the ads to watch the particular content that I normally don't get from ABC, CBS, and all these other channels. And when you think about it, who does this really benefit? You are the consumer. You're the one who says, I want to watch this. So there's an ad. So they put an ad for, I don't know, Michelin tires or some beauty products. That may or may not, be the proper ad for you. So that's something that YouTube needs to address on their own end. YouTube may just have a problem with the way that they create ads or filter ads for people for their channels, and they have to address that. But what they're actually doing is actually hurting the content creators. And they're going after them versus going after their own algorithms that they have full control over to pretty much say, we should just filter our ads a little bit better for the more mature content and then filter the ads for the childlike content or, non-adult, non-mature content. It's no different when you go to, Nickelodeon or Disney Channel. You get particular ads that pertain to children and teenagers. You get cereal ads. You get toy ads. As an adult, you get more mature ads. You get stuff about car insurance and life insurance and stuff like that. That's what those ads are for. And that really should have been the solution altogether on YouTube's end versus them going after the content creators and saying, hey, we don't want this excessive strong language. We don't want the graphic content. They should have just fixtured and restructured their advertisement algorithms. If you're watching a rap video, if you're watching something about, car accidents in Russia or any of these crazy videos on YouTube that have some sort of violence in it, it shouldn't have an ad right before that about, acne medicine. That doesn't make any sense. Like the way that they create their algorithms for the advertisements don't make any sense. So in a way, YouTube has kind of gone the lazy route about this and gone ahead and said, oh, well, we just don't want to cater to the people who are making this mature ads. And by doing so, they're just going to end up ruining the culture. If we take out all the adult content, if we say we're going to eliminate all of this pretty much is going to eliminate the backbone that created YouTube. YouTube is worth billions and billions of dollars, and that is based on the success of people who are willing to put themselves out there as amateur video content creators to do channels, to do videos that, pertain to subject matter that you normally wouldn't find anywhere else. Whether it be somebody making fun of themselves, whether it be somebody, doing political satire, all of these things are things that are normally not found anywhere else. And this is what YouTube is all about. To pretty much enforce these new rules that said that, we can't use excessive language and all this other graphic content really is just going to diminish all of this. And it's basically going to force people to go to another platform. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but we may be talking about 5-10 years from now about how there's going to be a new platform that provides a more mature level of content that YouTube used to provide, and now YouTube has pretty much shot itself in the foot. YouTube is basically a canvas for creativity and amateur presentation through these videos and these channels that people have created. Love them or hate them, whether you love all these channels or not, there's a lot of channels that you do like. You'll always be able to find something on YouTube that will pertain to something that you like. You can filter for it. You can create playlists for it. You can comment on it. These are things that make YouTube beautiful. And ultimately, this is just going to destroy the complete foundation. We're going to go into a more PC, PG culture, just like how people criticize the WWE that it's all PG. Like, it used to be the Attitude Era back in the 90s. And that's what we want. We want that. But, they claim that this is all about being PG and catering to advertisers. It's all bullcrap. It's nothing more than a knee-jerk reaction. It's nothing more than everybody being ultra-sensitive in this social justice warrior bullshit, atmosphere of oh my God, we need everybody to have a safe zone. Everybody has to have a safe tissue, a towel, whatever it is. We need to coddle people. This is absurd. This entire culture of coddling people, especially in their adulthood, especially people in colleges, universities, it needs to stop. Like, it used to be that we were tough, we had a backbone, we had the ability to express ourselves and not have everybody cry about it. And, ultimately in the end, it's going to ruin everything. Like I said, it's going to ruin the culture of YouTube. This is what YouTube was about. It's always going to be about this. It's always going to be about you, the viewer. It's always going to be about the content creator, who is very expressive and very creative in their efforts. They don't have somebody breathing down their neck. They don't have somebody with a very strict guideline of rules for a particular network like ABC who says, oh, we can't have this, we can't have that. Well, that doesn't exist in YouTube, at least not until now. Now, you can still be expressive, you can still be creative, you can still do whatever you want. You're just not going to necessarily make money off of it. And I myself have no reason to give up my integrity, to change my platform. I have a particular focus for this channel. It will stay that way. Like I said, I had no intentions of making money through this channel, but I'm going to continue forward with the way I have it planned and set out. I'm not going to compromise what I'm willing to do the content and provide the content that I'm willing to put out there. And to all the big time, channels that do exist, they also need to focus on that as well. They also need to say to themselves, we're not going to compromise ourselves. Are they necessarily going to get paid? No, more than likely not. We're already seeing a lot of the big channels being affected at this time. They're losing the ability to make money. They're losing the ability to make money from videos from way back, not just recent videos. This is going retroactive now. And YouTube is basically saying, just go after yourself. Like, we don't care about you at this point. Which is really insane, because when you think about it, like I said earlier, all they have to do is either isolate the content, move the mature content somewhere where it's more restrictive, where you have to either sign in, prove your age, or you have to agree to the terms and conditions to watch that content, filter the ads a little bit better so they pertain to adult content, which there's always an advertiser out there, because we see it on regular TV. We see advertisers on FX. We see advertisers on channels that show mature content. There were always advertisers rushing to advertise for Breaking Bad and for any other show that's been very graphic on TV. Trust me, there's always an advertiser out there. If YouTube is saying that there isn't, they're lying to you. Whether this is YouTube being greedy, whether this is YouTube trying to take advantage and exploit the people that have already set up a foundation for their channels, who knows? But in the end, there's a different way that this can be done. Hopefully YouTube changes all of this. Hopefully YouTube goes back on this. But I don't see that to be the case. They're being very forceful about this. They're saying that this has been the way the rules have always been. That may or may not be true. I mean, it sounds like it. If anybody, I don't know what the rules were before, but it does sound as though that these rules have been already there. It's just that now they're pulling away money. They're actually affecting people who are violating it. And they're not being very consistent with it either. So in the end, it's up to you to decide which way you want to go about it. As a content provider, do you want to compromise yourself? And as a consumer, do you want to keep giving into YouTube's ideas of what they think you should be watching? Now, this is part one of my video for YouTube. I have a second part that I have to address. It's going to be a little bit shorter than this one. This was really more of a rant, especially myself, because I wanted to come on here and create this channel and provide content that I felt would have been very, expressive of the way I want to express things. But now I feel like, which way do I want to go about it? And you know what? I've come to the conclusion, I wasn't really making any money from this to begin with. I'm not very popular as it is, so I have no reason to compromise myself. I have absolutely no reason to change the way I'm going to do this channel, so I hope that the big boys think the same way, because you should not give in to YouTube. So this is part one of my video here for this week for YouTube censorship. Basically just a rant at this point. Part two will be a little bit shorter. I thank you for watching this video, and the next video will be right up real shortly right afterwards. Thank you for the support for anybody out there watching. I'm ALEC, and I'm out.